In today's video, I'm going to explain what the numbers on your tires are for, what they mean. I'm going to discuss metric tire sizing. I'm going to discuss the size of tire rims, and later in the video I'm going to direct you to a website that I find very convenient if you're thinking about putting a set of tires that are not the exact recommended tire size for your car. The best way to find out the recommended tire size for your car is look generally on the inside of the driver's door. You'll see a tag, and right here for this car it's P215 65R17. I'm just going to discuss the numbers that will tell you whether or not a tire will actually fit your vehicle. So what we've got here, these are in metric. This is a 225 50R17. Probably the most important number is going to be the 17, the last one. That's the rim size, and it will let you know whatever size rim is on your car. This is, if it's a 17-inch rim, this tire will fit. If this was an imperial tire, like English in inches, those types of tires are very straightforward. The first number is the height, the actual height of the tire. The second number is the width, how wide it is, and the R is for radial, which just about all tires are, and again the rim size. But this is a metric tire, and a lot of them are now. So the 225 here, that's referring to the width of the tire. This tire is 225 millimeters wide. The second number is being the 50. They call this the aspect ratio. So it's the 50 means that the sidewall, this width here, is 50% of the 225. So this width is half of the width of the tire. So this is the sidewall height, I should say, is half of the how wide the tire is. And for some reason the rim size still stays the same. It's 17 inches. There's other numbers over here. You see M&S, mud and snow, and some other things. This H to be like a P, generally passenger, but these are the ones you're going to want to use to see if a tire actually will fit your vehicle. I mentioned this car has 17-inch rims. If you measure the outside of a rim, you're not going to see that measurement. By my thumb there, it's 18 inches. The 17 inches appears in around that area of the rim. With a tire that's not mounted on a rim, we can see our 17 inches here on the inside diameter of the tire. Hopefully that'll come out in the tape as 17 inches. So for a metric tire, to get the total height of it, you've got to take the sidewall width we were discussing, multiply it by 2, and then add the 17 inches that's across here. Or you can use the handy dandy website that I always use, which I'm going to discuss next. So here's a car with 17-inch rims all the way around, and different size tire on the front as opposed to the back. I think even from this distance you can see it's a fairly dramatic size difference. Here is the website I was telling you about, www.tiresize.com. Now, this is how this works. There's two different methods I'm going to show you here. Firstly, if you're not exactly sure what tire goes on your car, you're going to go over here on your drop down, select the type of car. The car we were looking at in the video is a Chrysler. It's a 2007. Model is a 300. It's a Chrysler 300. And under options we have the different types of Chrysler 300s, and that one is a touring rear wheel drive. And here it is, right here. It shows you the correct tire size for that car, and as we know from when we looked at the inside of the door, that is correct, 215 65R17. Now what I really like about this site is if you're looking for a set of tires, used tires like I did for that car, and I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money, you hit the tire size comparison. And what it'll show you, I don't know what happened there, let's click that again. You can then put in the size of tires that you're possibly thinking of putting on your vehicle and see if they are way off from the size that's recommended. So I've already used this site. So here it is, 215/65 R17, size 1, size 2. I'm going to put in the size that we had on the front of that car, which were really too small for it, but I already had those, so I had them installed. And they were 225s, 225/65 R17s. Click compare, and, oops, sorry about that, 225/50 R17s. Click compare, and here's what's really neat. It'll show you exactly the difference of the two tires. So here's our tire size 1 here, the recommended tire for the car. As I said, I really shouldn't have put these tires on the front of that vehicle, but at the point I just bought the car, I only paid $1,600 for it. I wasn't willing to go blow a whole lot of money until I knew if the car was actually any good and not burning oil and stuff like that. Turns out it is really good, so that's fine. But down below here we'll see that the tires that were recommended, supposed to be on that car, are 8.5 inches wide. The ones I put on are 8.9 inches wide. That's not too drastic. But here is the height. Those tires we had on the front are almost 26 inches tall. The tires that are supposed to be on it are 28 inches tall. That's 2 inches. That's a dramatic difference. And if we look down below here, one of the critical things here is that means that the speedometer will be off, because the tire is actually turning more times than what the reading would indicate. So over here, let's say you're doing 60 miles an hour, or that's what it reads on your speedometer. You're actually going only 55.5 miles an hour. Now the reverse of this, that's not good, because you're going slower than you think you are on a busy highway or something that might be slowing things down. The really dangerous part is if this tire was actually higher. Then this site will show you that if this tire, you're putting one on it's taller, you're actually going faster than your speedometer is saying. So that's what I really like about this site. It'll give you a rough idea as far as if you were thinking about putting a different size tire on. Now here's the ones that I have installed on it now. I bought a good set off of Kijiji used, got a great price on them, and they were $225. What were they? 60, 225/65 R17s. That's what they were. So that's the size that are installed on it. Now, if we compare the two, they're a little bigger than they're supposed to be, but only by a ½ an inch height-wise here. So in other words, down here, if I was going 60 miles an hour, I'm actually going to 61.1 mile an hour. So it's good information to know if you're doing this. Obviously, in an ideal world where everybody has all sorts of money, you just go buy the exact set of tires, and they're brand new, and rainbows and butterflies, everything's beautiful. But in my world and a lot of other people's worlds, money's something you got to be a little careful with, and sometimes you might do something like this, but you definitely do not want to veer too far off your tire size. And I think that's about it. You can play around with this site, lots of good information on it.